hope, dear Ruth HaCohen, that you have some guards outside this room, because I fear that you will be obliged to order my arrest, either for provocation or maybe more for blasphemy. Never mind. Thinking about the title of this conference, of this huge gathering, facing tomorrow, I am full of doubts and interrogations. Facing tomorrow seems to fit blindly with the hyper-modern imperative to foresee, to anticipate everything. It is indeed the ambition of the 21st century. The scientism which dominates the planet demands that we foresee the destiny of each human being on the course of the world. We expect from genetic, cognitive sciences, statistics, or even from so-called psychological autopsy, that they tell us which babies will be jailed at the age of 15. And from other scientists, it is required to tell us what will be the Earth tomorrow. It is probably this compulsive desire of universal forecast which is at the root of the growing power of insurance companies. The motto to govern is to foresee has nowadays been taken in the literal sense. One wants to face tomorrow because of the anguish generated by the future and for reasons of simple economy, of money. The only problem is that one wants to face tomorrow while today one does not face anything, nothing at all. Did we face the financial and economical crisis, the tsunamis, the never-ending massacres? We never stop to foresee and to face tomorrow, and we receive today blow after blow straight in the face. One should hold on the only really serious principle, the only one really true, the unavoidable never happens, the unforeseen always. I speak here as an artist, and I declare that art should never surrender to the scientist's requirements or cooperate in one way or another with the management ambitions of the states. The artists never foresee. They see and give to see what nobody saw. Art is an enemy of blindness, a cure against it. Art is visionary. but it is such only in retrospect. The masterworks enlighten a time, but it is discovered only afterwards. Picasso began to paint Guernica 5 days after the actual bombing of the small Basque village in 1937. His masterpiece illuminates Guernica on the horrors of war forever, yet it did not prevent all the Guernicas perpetrated by the Nazis during the Second World War, and we could go on. When she wrote, "You did not see anything in Hiroshima," Marguerite Duras expressed the truth about the 20th century. When in my film, A Visitor from the Living, I show a delegate of the International Red Cross Committee who visited Auschwitz in 1943 and Theresienstadt in June 1944, and explained in pink reports that everything was in order, he exemplifies the blindness of the world, fulfilling unconsciously the aim of the Nazi. I am the one who, in an hallucinating scene, had to describe him in a crossover examination what he did not see in Auschwitz and Theresienstadt. The 20th century did not see anything. If I borrow the beautiful title of the last Stanley Kubrick's film, I would name the 20th century the century of eyes wide shut. The 21st century wants to keep the eyes wide open, to detect the evil, to see it coming, to understand it in order to prevent him, to see, to foresee, to know. Trilogy of mastery, of control. One wants to calculate everything, but it is the nature of the real to sweep out each calculation. What is striking is our immense inability to foresee. The fashion and the fame of the so-called catastrophe films have no other reason. In such films, the hero succeeds at the last minute to avoid the announced disaster. This kind of fiction reassures us about our power on the real. Finally, the credo that everything is calculable does not make us more provident and prudent, better armed, but make us more blind on the part which escape calculation. You stop this now, because it will have a very bad end. The formula of this blindness and impotency, we know it, never again. You may read it at the entrance of the extermination camps in Poland, Treblinka, for instance. It is the root of the modern doctrine called in French l'humanitaire, in English the humanitarian, launching wars to avoid them. The result is not always very bright. The world tries to wash itself since it did not foresee and did not see during the 20th century. It dreams of the absolute contrary at the beginning of the 21st and assures us that this is not a dream but the most realistic possibility. The Jews should not be accomplices of these modern trends. We are still very far of the full intelligence of the 20th century. We are not rid of it. The beast is still fertile. And the Jews will deserve to be called men of the future only if they never stop to face their past and to look deeply into it. They must be like the angel of Paul Klee, according to Walter Benjamin. Is turned towards the past. The angel is turned towards the past. The wind pushes him towards the future, but his eyes are staring straight on his own history.